What's good, everybody? Welcome to Back to the Block podcast with your host, Anthony Alston. I am super excited to start this series with you guys. It's been in the work for a while, and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Here, we're going to be taking it back to the block where our story began. We're going to revisit feelings of uncertainty that we experienced when we lacked guidance, skills, and mentorship. Despite the challenges, minimal resources, and adversity that we faced, we had to start somewhere. The belief in ourselves was put to the test when people doubted our dreams, goals, and ambitions. We faced constant reminders that only a small percentage of athletes make it to the top, and now it's time to tell our stories and inspire the next generation. This podcast is for us. This is our platform. Let's take it back to the block. Coming to you straight out of the DR, Luis Jacobo is a force to be reckoned with. He has stints in the Gleague and Europe before heading back to his motherland, the Dominican Republic. The 6'5" wing scores in a number of ways, and his shooting ability plus herky-jerky dribbling style makes him very hard to guard. During this episode, we discuss his upbringing, basketball journey, and unique pathway that led him to the player that he is today. Come on, man, y'all know what time it is. Let's take it back to the block. Let's welcome Luis Jacobo to the show. Episode 7, Back to the Block podcast. This is my other big homie. This is my OG for real right here, man. Got my boy Luis on the show. Luis, talk to me. What's good, man?
What's going on with you, bro? How you been?
I'm great, man. I'm blessed, man. How you living?
I'm good, man. Had to take a little pit stop from this pool party, so it's good I get to kind of step away for a little bit,
Look,
drastic over here.
it's always business with you, man. You still living
Yeah,
life, but it's business, man. You got to get right.
got to, man. Can't have fun unless you take care of your business.
Facts, man. And you was just taking care of your business, man. You be on your game. So talk to me about the TBT. I know you just finished wrapping that up and you was doing your thing per usual. Looked like it was a great experience, man. So how was that?
Man, the only thing I regret about the TBT is not being able to play longer, man. I completely enjoyed the experience. I got to be with a great group of guys. Most of them in the area, the Purdue area up in Indiana. And it was just a fun atmosphere. I'm usually for the most part in foreign countries where I'm out of my element.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to just one be back on U.S. soil, being back in the states and being able to play like U.S. style organized basketball, it just felt good. It really did. So I enjoyed the experience. I'm grateful for it.
That wasn't your first time playing in it though, right? Or was it?
In TBT,
Yeah.
that was the first for me. Yeah, I had been trying for a few years actually, but I got lucky this year, and they finally called me. So obviously I couldn't turn that down.
Couldn't, man. That's what's up though, bro. So after doing my homework, I see that you might be from New York, man. I don't know where you really from. I know you Dominican Republic, you be in Florida. Like, are you from New York or that's cap? Like, where are you from, man?
All right, so I was born in Harlem, and then basically up until the age of 8, I was living in the Bronx with my mom, my parents. I ended up moving to Florida with my father, and basically just was raised there. So I'm more Floridian than anything, but my roots are basically from New York. And since then, it's pretty much it's just been history, man. Just jumping around from place to place. Once I graduated college, obviously. So yeah.
So, were you playing basketball when you was in New York? You started hooping already yet?
I actually started at a late age. I don't think I actually legit dribbled a ball until I was like 8 years old. My pops, when I actually moved to Florida, my pops actually started taking me to play ball with him. When I would leave after school, I didn't play on my first AAU team until I think I was like 14.
Wow.
So I was way behind. So I had a very late start, but luckily I love to play ball so much that I would just be out in the driveway shooting the entire time. I got like 4 complexions darker when I moved from New York because I would just stay out of the house, never put on sunscreen, but I would just stay in front of the house, just playing ball by myself, just not even realizing that I'm practicing. I was just having fun with the sport. And after doing that for but so many years, once tryouts would come around for like middle school or elementary school, and just these
Hmm.
kind of like uh you know like mediocre teams. It wasn't like anything like a travel team, but I just was head and shoulders talent wise, above kids of my age, and eventually I got noticed once I became a teenager. But yeah, I just got good just based on my love of the game, not even realizing how to properly train, honestly.
And like having trainers and organized workouts and all that stuff obviously will get you better and it's cool, but like there was a time where there was no trainers and just like you said, you was organically just working, and you also said that you didn't notice you were practicing, but you were visualizing, like you were kind of like seeing the game out. So you were like more than practicing, even better, but you didn't even really realize. And kids, they have a crazy imagination, so you was probably really like visualizing and
Oh
really
yeah,
getting better too. So
yes,
that's
sir.
where the strides came from.
Of course, of course. You see, yeah, we've all done it, where you're counting down out loud. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Four, three, two, one, and then you try to just drain that shot, even if you miss it 4 times, and you finally hit that thing. Though
That's
you get
reps,
that feeling.
exactly. Yeah, that's
You
reps
get what
too.
I'm saying? But I didn't realize that. I'm
Yeah.
just, hey, I get myself hyped. Like, yo, I can hear the crowd roaring, give me chills. Like, all right, so and then I guess once game time came, it really didn't. It didn't hit me that I was practicing until I actually got to middle school, and I think I had hit like my in one of these games. I can't remember. I think I probably was like about 14 years old, and that feeling that I got, I was like, wow, like this is. It,
Hmm.
it, it wasn't shocking to me, but it was like an adrenaline rush. Like I had been waiting for it. Like finally, you get what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, I had been rehearsing this the
Yeah.
whole time, didn't even realize it. You get what I'm saying? So it just, it's like connecting a bridge, and then from there, you get addicted to it, and you get. I basically got engulfed into the game from then on.
Yeah, success is addicting. So would you say you were all in, like once you found that success, like you feel like you felt deeper in love with the game?
Honestly, I didn't have a lot of success in the very beginning. Again, I just did it because I loved to play the game. I didn't have anything else,
Hmm.
that I liked, that I really enjoyed doing. Like every other kid, I hated school. During my teenage years, I didn't care too much for it. You know what I mean? I would get good grades to avoid being on punishment, but I didn't take school serious like that.
Right.
But my success didn't really come until honestly, I didn't get notoriety until like my junior year of high school. Up until before then, I was completely flying below the radar. Nobody noticed me. Nobody cared about me. Nobody knew my name. I would just go out there to have fun. And then once my senior year of high school hit, then that's when the scholarships offers started coming. That's when I'm getting ranked in ESPN Top 100, and that's when all these miraculous things happened, which I never aimed for starting off. It just came to me, and
Right.
that's when I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to see this potential to this basketball thing. Let's let me see, let's keep going with it. I'm having fun with it, but let's just see where it goes. And hey, things just started happening for me. God bless me. So, I just kind of took the path that was laid before me.
I heard that. And you've been traveling around, quite a lot of hoopers, obviously, and people are obviously from all over the world. Uh, so like the stereotypes of hoopers being from certain places and playing a certain way is like definitely real. So when I heard he's from New York, when I heard he's from New York, I'm like, nah, he couldn't have hooped there because the handle's not a New York City guard handle. Like you got it, but they got that thing on the yo-yo.
They got
So
that swagger. Yeah, they got that swagger. I know.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm like, wait,
believe me, I
what?
know.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned how what's up? You got something to add on to that or nah?
No, 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 no. I was just agreeing with you.
Straight up. So you mentioned how your junior you kind of started to pop in. You kind of got on the radar a little bit. You got ranked. So talk about like how your high school experience. How high were you ranked in just recruitment, AAU days, and just how all that played out?
All right, don't fact check me. It was so long ago, and I really didn't pay too much mind to it back then because
Hmm.
I wasn't even. When I tell you, like, I'm the first person in my family to go through this whole process, I missed a lot of stuff growing up. That if I would have known what I know now, the Lord knows how much further I would have been. You get what I'm
Man,
saying? It's one of those type of predicaments. But in high school, I definitely was in. I want to say the top like 30. I want to say like 25 ish somewhere that I was in the top ESPN 100 by the time I actually graduated college, going into Stetson University, which is where I attended my freshman year.
All right.
Again, you could try to fact check it. I may be wrong. It may be way higher than that. I don't know, but I feel like I was somewhere within the top 50. I'm gonna just say that,
Okay.
But I had the privilege of being able to be invited to certain camps because obviously once I made AAU, I started getting invited to certain camps,
Right.
playing against elite competition, top names who were ahead of me, and as kids, anybody with the competition level, when you see that person who's ranked above you, I got something to prove. You get what I'm
For
saying? Or
sure.
just feeling like you could at least hold your own against whomever their name is. I played against the Brandon Knights, the Austin Rivers, uh, Kenny Boynton. You get what I'm saying? These massive names growing up in my class, and it just that competition is what drove me. That competition is what gave me some motivation. That's what made me be like, you know what, there's people ahead of me that I can chase after as far as accomplishments. So, hey, let's go toe to toe and see, if you're gonna dominate me, I'm gonna dominate you, or we gonna hold our own. Let's just see what happens. Let's toss it up
Mhm.
and let's go for it. So that love and that competition, and I don't know, it just brings out the best in me. So, and I feel like any natural person who just loves to play this game, it'll bring out the best in them as well. So
For
that's kind of just what pulled me into the game.
for sure. And once I mean, if you're a high level player, like it doesn't even take anything to bring a competitor out of someone. It can be who gonna get through this door first. Like, nah, I'm gonna open the door and get through it first. Like, it can literally be anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you end up at Stetson though? Stetson University.
Man, so uh again, around between my sophomore year and senior year of high school, I had no idea how scholarships and recruitments work. I had no idea about like the Big Ten, all these
Hmm.
super D1 colleges. You know what I mean? These conferences. That's like if you just land in those conferences, you're pretty much a sure shot of going to a pro. You just have to try not to get injured. Basically, you could average 9 points, 8 rebounds. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
You can
A
average
couple
four.
assists
You can average 4 points and less, and still be on like.
just because of the school, just because of the university you attended, just
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
people you know or who they know. You get what I'm saying? It's whatever position is needed. You know how these things go. It's
You.
very political when it
Yep.
comes to those politics. Yeah, it's very political. So I didn't know that when I was recruiting. I was just like, yo, I get to go to school for free to dribble a ball. That you know what I mean? I was just I get to go to college. What's up? And my dad mind you, my dad had also challenged me and my brother. He said, if you ever get a scholarship with the money that I have been saving for you to go to college, I'm gonna use that to buy you a car. So I was like, that we made that. I think we made that deal when we was like 12 years old or something like that. And I didn't really wasn't thinking at that age. I'm like really thinking about college with kids, during that time. But once it happened, I didn't know the proper process of being able to choose the right school for my career and setting myself up for success. So when choosing Stetson's more of an education school, like a law school type of university. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't really that university wasn't really known for producing pros. I didn't realize that, so that was my first mistake.
Hmm.
But when I went there, I had some success. I think I made the all rookie team. I was one of the top scorers, top performers for my class, for the freshman class. So I had some slight success, but still I wasn't very known. I wasn't respected in the NCAA. I wasn't. I don't even think nobody knew my name. You get what I'm saying? Because it was just we didn't make the NCAA. We didn't have all this major success. So I ended up transferring my sophomore year to Central Florida in Ocala, which is a community college, because I didn't want to sit out. I didn't want to have to redshirt a year, jumping from D1 to D1. And Stetson was more of a between mid major to low major D1.
Okay,
So I
but
went community.
hold on. I want to know more about
Yeah.
the thought process and the decisions to transfer because you kind of talked about the accolades you had there. as a freshman, which were great. You averaged 9 points,
Gotcha.
4 rebounds, 44% from 2 point land, 33% from 3 point land, and 75% at the line. So as a freshman, that's like very good, especially at the D1 level. So if you just kind of do numbers and play devil's advocate, you obviously like might have finished around 24, 25, blase, blase, and you might have got on the radar then. But you kind of talked about the other intangibles like you mentioned. So what just went into that process to go from D1 to JUCO and that kind of thing?
So, unfortunately, in Stetson, um, we had a subpar season. I think we had just fell short of making it to the conference tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach who recruited me basically had to resign because they were going to bring in new staff. And me personally, I didn't want to play for a stranger, basically, because I decided to play for this coach, whom
Right.
I was told I was going to be able to play for 4 years. And now I'm going to just be having no choice of playing for this stranger. I don't know what his intentions. You know how coaches come in, they have their own agendas sometimes, and that
Uh-huh.
could really mess up your collegiate career. So that was my thought process on switching at first. And if you do your homework, there's a video somewhere out there of me saying that I was gonna stay at Stetson for my sophomore year, but then that summer I ended up having a meeting with my family, talking with a few coaches, some people close to me, and ultimately decided that it's best for me instead of sitting out a year. And I wanted to continue to play and improve and get better and be out there on the floor. So I decided to just transfer to a community college. That way I can still be eligible, and then from there transfer to another Division 1, hopefully, obviously higher than what I had started out with.
So you said that, like you said, you committed to stay for your sophomore year. You talked with your squad, your family, a group of people that you trust and value their opinions, and you got good guidance. And you mentioned how you didn't really know the recruiting life and things like that. So where did you develop these people your freshman year? Or where do these people come from, or like where they in the first your initial decision to go to Stetson?
So my freshman year in Stetson was a very huge year for me, as far as my mindset beginning to finally unhinge and change and start to develop and adapt to the lifestyle that was coming. Because again, this is my first time. I had no one in my family who had done this before that could tell me, hey, these roadblocks are ahead. Here's what to look for. Here's how to go about this. I was just learning on the fly. The most guiding father to kind of guide me, but he hadn't been through that process.
Mm-hmm.
But after, you know, like I said, after speaking with them, after trying to figure out, what's the best decision in regards to my future, it was an easy decision. Just being able to stay on the floor and stay playing and stay getting better. So either sit out for a year or just transfer schools. And like I said, it felt like an easy decision once it was all said and done.
So once you're at the JUCO and you know kind of a chance number two, you can propel up and go high major, mid major, just see where the chips fall at. Do you think things went the way you had planned to, or how was that JUCO experience? Because I know you obviously went to another university, another school after that, so it all worked out. But did it happen the way you thought it did would?
Not at all. It was a major. Uh, it was a yes and a no in regards to your question,
Mm-hmm.
because something happened with my transcript where it didn't transfer over for whatever reason from it didn't transfer over properly from going from that D1 to a community college, and I had to actually sit out the first half of the semester from basketball. All I could do was practice. So essentially,
Wow.
I did a semester of
Okay.
shirt. I was permitted to play after New Year's, and I could do the second semester, and then I joined officially on the team, and coach immediately put me in the starting lineup. He knew like we only have this guy for 1 year. He's a sophomore. Normally, community colleges you can only do 2 years max, and then
Right.
you gotta move on. So being already coming in as a sophomore, I'm in my second year, and they knew the caliber of player that I was based on my performance the year prior. So once I actually stepped on the floor in a half a semester, I ended up again having some accomplishments in the making the first all first team, and we had a really nice squad. So it actually a lot of my teammates had some of the same accomplishments that I had. It was like all first team. Uh, I think we had like one states or something like that. Oh no, we lost in the state championship to North Florida, I believe, which whom went on to win the national championship that
North
year.
North Florida's a great program.
Yeah, they're amazing in the community college world, bro.
Yeah.
They're up there. So much respect to them. And like I said, I had some success by the end of the semester, and eventually I ended up committing to Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne, which they've changed the name now. It's I believe it's Purdue Fort Wayne University now. That's the name. But when I went there, it was Indiana University, Purdue University Fort Wayne. You
Okay.
abbreviated IPFW. So that's where I committed to my final 2 years after that. But I did have some in only a half a semester, showing that I was one of the top players in not only just the state but also the nation in regards to community college. So I didn't leave empty-handed essentially, but I did miss half of half of the season, the first half of the season because of that. So I probably could have done even better. Who knows?
And is that I know different states have different rules. Is that a national JUCO or no?
Yo, you can still hear me?
Yeah. I was saying I know different states and stuff have different rules like that. Was that a national JUCO or no?
Say it. So I'll repeat that.
The JUCO you went to, was that a national JUCO or was it just like a straight community college, but y'all played good schools type of thing?
Honestly, I don't have the answer to that, but I want to say it was just like a normal, but we had become so good that we were respected on a national level, on a national stage, because we had won states, I think, like, or we had at least gone to the state finals like 10 years straight with Coach Tim Ryan. So he was already a well respected coach. So he's the one who essentially put that program on a national stage. You get what I'm saying? As for at least the basketball program. I can't speak for the school entirely, but
Right.
the basketball program was very well respected. And well, it was up until a few years ago. It actually shut down, unfortunately.
Gotcha. So you transferred to the university. You finished averaging 15 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting at impressive 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 81% from the line. So you definitely did your thing on all levels. What was that level like? Do you feel like it was easy for you, or what was your mindset going into this level at the D1 bounce back?
It felt easy because I had great people backing me. Coming out of high school, I was playing mostly as like a power forward position, so my guard skills were very underdeveloped. My freshman year, I was able to work with phenomenal coaches to help me develop more of guard play, learning how to shoot properly, and then going into my sophomore year, being able to take what I had learned from my freshman year and build off of that. It was kind of like a snowball effect, and just kind of started building, and the game just got easier. I became a very good isolation player going off of one on one. So my sophomore year, coach was actually running a lot of the offense for me to initiate, and it just got easier and easier. And once I transitioned to IPFW, again, it just got really fun from there.
And that's why kids, like when they're either a big as a kid or a guard as a kid, and they're only working on like one aspect of the game, like I keep trying to tell kids like they should be working on everything. Because what if you hit a growth spurt or so on and so forth? Because just like you said, you were playing a four, and then so you kind of know if you get a smaller guard, you obviously that's a mouse in the house. That's easy work.
Lunch meat,
And
lunch
now you
meat.
said you figured out you figured out the ISO game. So you're just figuring out all three levels and all parts of the game eventually. It's not like it's all in one summer or all whatever. It's just periodically. So you definitely did it the right way. And unintentionally too. Like just being humble and not saying, hey, I'm not a four, I'm not playing the four. Like you unintentionally was just being a team guy. And that's what I noticed early when we first met too, is you would kind of just do whatever to win and you can do it all. So you're like, I have no problem doing it. I've been doing it my whole life. That's what you said. Like I did that before. I've been
Exactly.
doing that.
Just put me on the court. Yeah.
So like I mentioned in the intro earlier, so you did your thing on the college level. You obviously did enough to get on the radar, enough to keep playing past the college life, which is a blessing. So just an early salute on that. Um, so you started, got drafted in the Dominican Republic. You also got drafted in the G League by the Texas Legends in the same year. So just talk about your rookie year and just either draft process or overseas process, getting an agent, going back to the motherland because you are Dominican, right? So
Yes,
just
yes, half Dominican. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So like, did you? Yeah. So just kind of talk about that. Like, did you know I'm just want to reside in Dominican? Like what's up?
Oh man, so the glory days were my college days for sure. And it's like when I started playing professionally, it's like I just hit a wall. I mean, I hit a wall hard. And to be honest with you, thinking like now that I'm a full grown adult and I can look back on, being basically going from teenager to a young adult,
Mm-hmm.
that phase, I wasn't ready. I mean, I think I can be honest with myself now. I wasn't ready. When I went to that Texas Legends tryout, I was behind, way behind. Um, it it felt unreal because I had never felt that feeling before. And when I say I was behind, it wasn't that I couldn't compete with these guys. It was I was just I was observing how the guys around me were carrying themselves. I was observing how they would train. I was observing how the coach, like I'm used to being in college where coach is kind of drawing out stuff in practice. He'll tell us, he'll walk us through and tell us what to do, da da da, and then boom, it becomes easier. But in the pros, they don't have time to kind of walk you
Right.
through it. It's just they're blurting stuff out, and you just got to know it, and then you got to step on the court and do it, or you look dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I,
And they saying
I look
actions too.
dumb.
They saying flop. They saying like lingo. Like
Well,
you better know the lingo.
they're speaking a different dialogue to me. So you ever see those? You ever see the memes where the person's thinking really hard, and you see like all the equations in the background and stuff.
That was you.
But I got the poker face though. I'm like, all right, coach, I got you. But on the back of my head, and mind you, it's like 20 guys who's trying out for like a 12-man roster. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pressure every time you step on the floor. You can't every mistake you make, they're jotting that down. You can see them writing in the sketchboards. So for me, like when coach is saying this, I'm keeping it cool on the outside, like, all right, coach, yes, sir, got you. All right. Go out there, mess up once or twice, three, four times. And then now I'm still keeping a poker face, but on the inside, man, I'm just collapsing. I'm melting. I'm like, oh God, like this is not happening right now. I'm blowing this opportunity so decently. And unfortunately, we ended up going to Mexico to scrimmage. Like, well, it was an exhibition game against the Mexican national team. Um, and I rolled my ankle very badly, like severely, where I was out for like 3 months. I had never
Man.
rolled my ankle like that ever. It was like a super high roll too, and um, ended up obviously I got cut, and I went home for a while, and I didn't return back. I didn't actually start playing professional again until obviously after I'd healed, but I had only played one season, which was over the summer in DR after I had graduated from college. Tried out for the G League, and then from there stayed home for maybe like a half a year, and then went back to DR, and that's when I kind of tried to revamp my career from there.
And you revamped it exactly that. So just kind of talk about the place you've been on. Your resume is craziness long because you do little cups, tournaments, like you just it don't matter where that you'll go play anywhere, whatever it's at, you'll just go pop up. So I know you've played in Indonesia, Spain, the DR quite a lot. Um, yeah. So if there's any other countries I missed, just kind of brief up on that and just talk about your favorite place, maybe.
So I'll try to give you a quick rundown if I can remember them almost in order to the best of my ability. It went from IPFW once I graduated. It was Dominican Republic, Texas Legends draft, back to Dominican Republic. I stayed there for probably like 2 years, I think. And then I was able to, no, I stayed there for 1 year. Then I went to play in Slovakia with Kobe Košice. And from there, came back to DR. Ended up going back. I ended up playing in Lead Silver in Spain. From there, back to DR, went to Colombia for the first time, won my first legitimate professional championship. Went to Indonesia, was starting to pick up some heavy speed. Like I was really picking up speed, and then COVID happened. After COVID happens, go back to DR, and pretty much I've been here ever since. And obviously got to play in the TBT. Um, in between that time, I think it was right around like 2017. I did do a tour in China. It wasn't necessarily like a tournament or a league per se. It was just more of an opportunity to kind of see what Asia has to offer. Did very well there. There's a lot of highlights on my YouTube channel that you can see, but I didn't really broadcast that so much. Wasn't really much to broadcast. I was just
Right.
looking for any job opportunities. But I killed there. Honestly, I feel like me going to China, and it was like a month and a half tour. Like a month and a half tour where we represented like the USA team, and we was playing like almost like a tournament atmosphere, but we would just tour China in different cities. I ended up landing the Indonesia gig from that. I feel like so it essentially worked out. It was just years later.
So we met in Spain right before your season in what was that, Lev Silver you said?
Oh, I forgot when we met in Spain. That was right before I got to Lab
Yeah.
Silver. Remember,
Yeah.
I had went to play in the EBA where me and you met, played that one game, and then I ended up fortunately, well, fortunate for me, but unfortunate for the player I replaced. He had an injury. They needed a player like quick, and I had just so happened to have a good game, and then they called me to take basically a 7 hour train ride to them, and eventually, just went from EBA to Lev Silver. So it was a big jump for me.
Exactly. So yeah, like yeah, EBA is called Liga EBA. So we were kind of both there at the same time. We didn't happen to play at the same time. Like I said, he was there very brief, very short. Uh, we were working out and training for a minute though. We're getting our 2 days in. And since it's kind of like a lower level, we'll just practice kind of at night around like super late to like 8 p.m. or whatever. So we kind of got all day. So it's kind of just on us. So we would go, there's no pressure. We had nothing to do all day. So we kind of sleep in, go around 10 or 11. Ball handle. Yeah, like I said, he was leading the workout. You was the OG. So I'm just like, yeah, let's get it. So we're doing tennis ball work, two ball. We doing crazy drills. We get our shots up. Then we go straight to the weight room. We had the weight room in the gym. So we go straight to the weight room. Then the restaurants was open by then, a la brasa.
You
Good
already
eats.
know. Chowing down, boy.
Good eats. So we walk over there, nap, chill, talk, do whatever, and then chill till practice and go back to the restaurant again. But like I said, this was before my second season. So I played in Croatia for about half of that
Mm,
season. So I was very new in the pro life still. And you were same thing. You were just teaching me. I'm observant, so I was really just watching from a distance. But if it was anything, you was teaching me what it was. So you were very professional. You was stretching. You was like I said, you was doing the work. You was doing everything. So I applaud. I had my other OG from Croatia, my vet, on here as well. So it's only right to have you on here as well. So appreciate that
yes,
for real,
sir.
bro. And yeah, and that game, you was going dumb too. I'm watching. I'm like, nah, like that was obviously way too easy, but I'm like, nah, bro, is really going dumb on all three levels too. Like, I think you started slow and then you got like super hot.
Yeah, I think the first quarter, I think I had only had like 2 points. So it was, those first game jitters are.
Mhm.
So, but once you get comfortable, the game just starts to get easy. But in regards to us training together, I was just happy to have a workout partner. I get so fed up with just working by myself that it's so much more fun to be able to have somebody to train with. And it was easy. It was easy to talk with you because you've always been coachable. Like even coach was saying the same thing. Like he had wished that you could play during that time, but
Mhm.
I couldn't remember what was the situation with you. If you was just trying to kind of walk on a team or whatever. But I was really hoping like he would put you out there on the floor because in practices you remember
Yeah.
we was giving them hell in practice. And I was like,
Unguardable.
God damn, like they need to put you. Yeah, I was like, bro, both of us on the floor together. That shit was so fun. So I was like, imagine in the game, like if I would have been able to stay a full season, being able to hoop together, I know we would have caused some serious havoc. So those are some fun times. Even the small times the short amount of time that we had together was definitely some time that I appreciated. So, but yeah, that's just the type of person I am. I like to get to work in. Um, I know what it takes to be a professional. I've been able to make my mistakes and learn from them. So if I can be able to help anybody else out, I've learned that whatever you put out into the universe, the universe will give back to you. If you're always preaching positivity, you're always looking to help the next person, care about the next person, versus only just thinking about yourself. Which I went through a small period of my time where I did go through that, and I saw basically I learned that life is a mirror. What I was putting out, I was getting back. What I wasn't putting out, I wasn't getting back, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was putting myself in solitude. So I decided to try to change that, and that's why it was really easy once me and you met. Because I was like, yo, this is a good dude. Like, he's genuine. He wants it too. What can I do to help this guy out? And I'm stealing some moves from you at the same time. You know, what I mean? I was learning from you during our training sessions.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that we was doing. Like the little jab sweep through,
Yeah.
smooth. Like when we used to play our little one on ones at the end of
Yeah.
our workouts, you kept messing me up with that one move. It used to piss me off. It used to really get me upset. But I was like, yo, I could see, bro. You got stuff to your game, even how
Mm-hmm.
crafty you were. Being able to just switch directions on a drop of a dime and still be smooth. You're not being fidgety or bobbity with the ball. Things like that, I would notice. Like, yo, this kid is nice. Like when he finally gets with the coach that allows him
Mm-hmm.
to be able to blossom and play his game, he's something special. So definitely kudos to you. You was putting the same work in. So it's iron sharpen iron, basically. And that's what I try to look for whenever I meet
For
new teammates.
sure. Salute, bro. I'm still, and once that move is still alive and still pissing people off because it's so
Oh,
subtle. It's so subtle. Like they're like, bro, I
it's
thought you
so
were about to
annoying.
go. Nah, bro. And you got it fast too.
Like how you
I forgot I was doing it then, but yeah, like that move is still that.
yeah, that's it. You messed me up a couple times on it, and I remember I just eventually had to stand on your high shooting shoulder eventually, but even
Yeah.
then it was still tough because you had such a quick burst on your first step. So I was like, bro, once if I can master that, it's like off of it's like off a triple threat. You're not
Yeah.
dribbling, it's off a triple threat. So I was like, come on, bro, like this is embarrassing.
Hey, like the mentorship and having you as a big brother was cool and all, but when you left, I was most hurt that the haircuts was coming to an end because you was chopping me up, and I was,
The
and I was,
haircut days.
and I was hurt because you was in that kitchen. Like I wasn't really. I started cooking later,
Yeah,
but bro,
yeah.
I'm like, nah, this ain't happening. Like, nah, bro. Those are two essential major keys over there. Like I
And
was
we in
set up.
Europe, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like we had,
yeah.
and our apartment
No
was done.
barbershops.
We had we had a 4 bedroom on the 10th floor, big living
Yeah,
room. I had the balcony. He had the bigger room. Uh, yeah, we was in there living. Like it was a good setup. So I'm like, yeah, got a good setup. I can walk to the gym, the restaurant. I got my barber here as my teammate. I could eat at the crib too, but that came to an
yeah.
abrupt end. That was hurt piece, man.
Man, yeah, bro. The haircut days. I can't remember the last time I don't even touch somebody's hair. So that's wild. You bring that up, bro. It brings back so many memories. It's crazy.
And
You
I
talking? Wait, what year was that, man? That we ended up meeting. What year? You remember?
that
Like
was
2000,
2019,
2019. Yeah, man.
I
Some
think.
years. No, no. It couldn't. It had to be.
18.
It had to be more like no, no. Like 2017. It had to be
It was 18 for
because I
sure.
remember. Cause it had. I mean, yeah, probably 2018. I would say. Because right, yeah, yeah. Because when COVID happened, I had went to Indonesia. The year before that, I was in
I got to spend
Spain.
like
I was in
February,
Greece.
like January, February. So it was early 2018. So the
That's
beginning of
true.
that.
Yeah, cause yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. So yeah, something like yeah, that's a man. That's some years, bro. That's wild to think about. That much time has passed.
Yeah, the fact that we can't even both remember, like, nah, wait, it was when?
Yeah, that's a while ago, bro. It don't even feel like it.
It don't at all. But it be like that. That means, I mean, it's a good thing. We both on our business. We still are progressing and transcending. So we gotta
So, only
keep
getting better with
elevating.
time.
And it's funny when I used to hear people like, "Oh, it was this year." I'm like, "Bro, you remember, bro. Stop that." But now it's like, nah, like like guys
It's for
really
real,
don't. Yeah, nah, guys really don't remember low key. Like hold on.
bro. If I wouldn't have been, I finally now like I keep my pro resume updated now after each season, so I make sure I'm looking for my averages, my stats, the year that it was, and da da da, because I know I'm gonna forget.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Like it's just it's too much happening for us to retain those type of memories on like the specific dates. So yeah, believe me, I'm right there with you.
I feel that, man. So it's been a great podcast, man. It was great hearing your story and reminiscing on great times like that. So before we wrap it up, like I said, I just want to say thank you. I know you were out and about doing your thing and you responded. Like this was the quickest turnaround I was able to get a guest. Like I'm like, yo, bro, when we gonna do that? You said, I'll let you know. I'm like, come on, bro. Like when we doing it? You responded 2 days later,
Right.
whatever, like, yo, it's good. Like, what's up? And then like less than a week, bottom line, we made it happen. So I appreciate that for taking the time and sharing, like I said, man.
It would have been sooner if I didn't have. I had some games this weekend coming up. So this past weekend, which I have two more games coming up this weekend. But if it wasn't for those games, if I didn't have any games to prepare for, it probably would have been last week. Like right when you hit me, I'd have been like, all right, let's do it tonight. Like you get what I'm
Heard you.
saying? So
So you mentioned you had games last week and you got some more this weekend. What games you playing in or what you got going on?
all right. So currently, right now, I'm playing in Spanish. They refer to it as Torneo de Bonao or Superior Torneo de Bonao, which basically means a superior tournament of Bonao, which is a city that is an hour away from Santo Domingo, which is the capital of Dominican Republic. So a quick rundown on the way the basketball world works out here is between May and basically August is the top league, which is called the LNB, Liga Nacional de Baloncesto. Uh, that is basically where it's like an NBA setting where you go from city to city. You know, you're playing against each other for a championship. It's top competition. They usually allow two enforcers per team. They have the locals. They have a Dominican York position, which is basically a Dominican who has American training, which would be basically me, like my
Yeah.
position.
Okay.
Um, and then for the rest of the time throughout the course of the year, up until the start of the summer again, they have tournaments, which is called the superior tournaments of each city. So think of it like this: if say I'm from Orlando, so say if Orlando is in that one city, they have a designated gym or arena, and each neighborhood or certain hoods that surround the area, they have a team that represents that neighborhood. They play against each other's neighborhoods, which over here they call those barrios. Teams from each barrios play each other, and most tournaments have anywhere from 4 to 8 teams, and those run from about a month to possibly 2 months. Some are more higher than others, and they give the players out here rankings. So you only have certain players that can play in certain tournaments. What I do is I'm a B ranked player out here. I should be an A ranked player, but that's near he say she say whatever. That gives me motivation. But because I'm a B ranked player, I can play in the majority of the tournaments year round. So I basically just tour Dominican Republic. I jump from city to city, whatever contract is offered to me, until the summertime comes back around. And there we go. Once that ends, I restart my year all over again. So right now, a couple months ago is when I just finished the LNB, and now I'm playing in Bonao, and I have some contracts coming up for the next tournament that's about to start up, and it's going to be a very busy period between now and Christmas, and then there's a dead period in January, and then everything starts all over again.
So you're in the DR right now?
Yes, sir. Right now I'm in Santo Domingo.
What time is it there?
It's the same. It's the same as the Eastern time zone. Right now
Gotcha.
it should be 10:05.
Heard that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I thought you was in Florida for real.
It's the same time zone as Florida.
Heard that. So that's what you're doing this upcoming season. You staying out there and doing the tour thing,
Yeah, yeah, and
and not even
until
the
I
tour
get
thing, but what you just explained.
right, until I get something concrete outside of the country, in like a legitimate professional tournament, because I've had some smaller offers to play in elsewhere, like El Salvador and tournaments like that in different countries, but I essentially would be making the same amount of money that I'd be making here. So why would I leave?
Right.
It's no more exposure than I would be getting here. So for me, I'm at a point in my career. As long as it's like I don't know if for those anime lovers out there, if you like Dragon Ball Z, my favorite character is Goku because he lives to fight. He just lives for the competition of knowing that he's the best. Even though he's this super powerful guy, he's really like a lug nut. But he just loves to fight so much that he goes up there and he works at it every single day, all day long. That's all he does. When he's not fighting, he's eating or he's sleeping. That's what I've try to develop in regards to basketball. When I was younger, in my earlier 20s, I can say I didn't take it as serious as probably as I should have. Even though I love to play the game, but there's a way that you need to approach this game if you really take this serious.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, you know what? I have the opportunity to play year round in Dominican Republic. When I finally moved out of my parents' house, I just basically essentially migrated over here and stayed over here. I have dual citizenship and I can play year round. I can continue to get better. And I live, eat, sleep, breathe basketball. And I have that opportunity. And when I play in these smaller tournaments, I can actually play as the man. So I can learn how to, like right now, I feel like in my career, I've proven that I'm a great spot up shooter. I've proven that I can play my role to a T. No matter what role you put me, I can play that role. Now I'm trying to learn how to be more of like a facilitator, like someone that you can put at as the so-called bus driver of a team. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like
real
I'm trying to be
playmaker.
exactly a real playmaker, just somebody that you can depend on to win you games.
Hmm.
And I'm at a point now where I'm not even to prove it to anyone, I'm proving it to myself. Can you be that guy and can you prove that you can win no matter what team you put me on? And I'm playing with at times I'm playing with teams that are really bad, bro. Like they don't know how to play legit basketball, and for us Americans it can drive us insane because we know how to play the game, but they're so far behind that it can drive you crazy. But it's like if I can learn to adapt to this, you put me on the scene like with the CBT, and I got a team full of pros with me now. It's
Ain't
easy.
no
It's
telling.
too
Yeah.
fun. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that's the mindset that I've had to adapt and develop out here, and it's been helping me. You know, so I'm just taking advantage of the opportunity that I have, so that way, whenever I do have an opportunity to play in one of these games that could possibly change the course of my career, like who knows? What if I get drafted? What if I get recruited to play on the Dominican national team? Because I've been killing here for years on end. I've been winning all these tournaments. I've been winning championships. I've been this and that. I finally make the national team. I get invited to play in the FIBA World Cup. We might play the USA team. Get smacked by 55, but I might have dropped 35 on Kevin Durant.
Now you
I
on the
might have had
radar.
one highlight where I crossed Kyrie Irving up and made him twist an ankle and
Hmm.
Jada. We might have still got beat by 85 points, but Louis Jacobo now has a name on a global scale. You get what I'm saying? Now I can definitely help other players. People will finally listen to me and actually, now I'm not helping just one person like the situation with you. I can
Right.
help a whole nation. I can have a whole country backing me because I know what you get what I'm saying? I put the work in and I proved myself and most importantly, I earned it.
Is that the
You
ultimate
get
goal?
what I'm
Is
saying?
that the ultimate goal for you?
The thing is, I don't know. I've learned now. I'm just enjoying this ride. I've tried so hard to look ahead and try to Cinderella fairy tale like what my future could be and this, that, and the third. And I've been disappointed on so many occasions. I stopped counting. So now I'm just like, let's just see what tomorrow holds. Let's get a little bit better today. And whatever is meant to happen is just gonna happen. And I hope to surprise myself. I don't know what's gonna happen. Right now, I'm just like whenever my opportunity does come, if I'm ever in a predicament to be, playing against the USA team on a national scale or even to play in the TBT, if I would have made it all the way to the finals game, win or lose, dude, I made a name for myself. You get what I'm saying? I was ready for it. That's all I really want. I just want to be ready for those opportunities when they come because that's the beauty of this game. Those opportunities, they do often come, whether you realize it or not. Every year is new opportunities. It only takes one time for you to blow up, and then
Exactly.
from there, your life has changed. Your life can literally change overnight. And I'm
St-
just waiting on my opportunity.
Stay ready so you don't got to get ready.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the mindset.
So the DR is not Europe, but talk about the energy and the atmosphere in the games because it still be rocking over there, and it's a different feel because it's authentic. Like they rowdy, they can get real hostile. So what's it like over there, man?
So I'm actually glad you brought this up. While we're mentioning it, I'm actually going to start my own documentary series soon.
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping to launch by next year. I'm just trying to get my finances in order to be able to invest in a project of what I have in mind. Um, the atmosphere here, man, is unbelievable, bro. Like the way that the fans get into it, the trash talk, the love that they show you. This past weekend, we started off the tournament. We lost. Right now, I'm playing with the worst team. Like this team has had no success. I don't know if they won any games last year, but they brought in a new coach and they brought me in, and we lost the first two games, but only by three. But this is a team that usually gets probably blown out by 30.
Right.
So they're seeing how scary of a team that we're starting to become, and we don't even have no team chemistry. So just even things like that of seeing how could develop, this could turn into a major story later on. That if I start recording stuff like this team, but let's just say in 5 years they become something major. I was one of the pioneers of this. You get what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
want to start recording that everywhere I go, and every single place that I go to is essentially a new episode, so I can start my own documentary series. Like I plan on investing in a drone so I can be able to, show the areas of the world that I'm in. Being able to buy a go-go camera, and I can be able to record all the fans' reactions and just show what how it's really like over here. You get what I'm saying?
I
Like,
need that.
and all hoopers, that's the thing. But I want to unite all overseas athletes because we have how many stories. That's the one thing I love about meeting new players, hearing their stories, bro. They have so many crazy stories. I met up with Kenny Boynton in the airport after the TBT. He was telling me stories about how he was in Russia and some of his experiences, and how he was playing in Turkey, and how he was playing in China. And we literally sat in the terminal and talked for like an hour and 20 minutes before we got on the flight.
Yeah.
And he was just telling me his stories. And the only thing I was thinking the whole time this man was talking was like, damn, why don't I have a camera? Why don't I have a lavalier mic so I can put this on this man's collar and have a legitimate
Hmm.
interview with this man? And I'm like, I can do this with players all over the world. Like the same thing that me and you were doing, but on a global scale. Like, and it was. I'm gonna call it the overseas experience. I'm gonna call it the overseas experience, and it's gonna be something big, and it's gonna be able to explain the lifestyle of overseas athletes, the goods and the bads. Because I don't want players to come up like I did if they're the first in their family and they don't essentially have people to tell them, hey, here's what's gonna come with this lifestyle. You
Right.
need to be prepared for this on and off the court. Develop certain mindsets so you don't set yourself up for failure. By just simply watching that documentary series, it's gonna help so many players to develop on and off the court. Because a lot of players don't realize that they only just want to prepare to be the best player on the floor, but you also have to prepare yourself mentally, bro. Like this is not a lifestyle that's built for every. You have to be built for this, not just for basketball talent, but mentally. It's different. You're in the business of entertainment. It's not easy.
Hmm.
It's really not. I've seen players come and go now working 9 to 5 because they just couldn't handle it, or they just felt that they didn't want to deal with it. It wasn't what they anticipated that it was supposed to be. But that's for me, that's the beauty of it, and I want to share that with the world, or whomever is willing to listen. At least, if I
That
help one person, it was successful.
that part. Yeah, I seen the I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. I seen a little like promo video for what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
I was just watching that before we even got on this call. That was that even that's well put together already. You already got the little mic for the collar, and that was even well clipped. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I need that ASAP. Previews or whatever you got, man. I
Yep.
need that.
And when you make it, you're gonna be one of the first ones I interview. I want to be able to tell your story too, bro. Because the thing about us is that basketball is such a love sport. If fans love the way that you play, it's gonna be easy for people to want to hear what you have to say.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? So everybody has that golden opportunity. You just gotta seize the moment.
Already, yeah, I definitely will want to be a part of that. So we gonna make that happen in the near future, man.
For
Is
sure.
there anything else that you got working on or anything else you want to talk about, shout out or anything of that sort?
I think
I know you
just
got brand ambassadors and sponsorships and all of that. Like is there anything else you want to plug or talk about, man?
uh for any hoopers that's out there listening, man, create multiple sources of income. Don't solely depend on basketball. Basketball is essentially an exercise. It's just an activity. What are you doing with the rest of your time? Don't just sit around playing video games. You know what I mean? Or just wasting your time. Like look for stuff. Do your research. Meet, network. You get what I'm saying? Like actually network. Don't be worrying about going out clubbing and just chasing women and doing all this. Like honestly, set yourself up because this basketball stuff is not going to last forever. You know, a lot of us are doing this without medical insurance. I know I don't have no medical insurance. If I break a leg right now, that's gonna set me back big time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I have other stuff that is able to hold me up. But there was a time where I would go through my days scared because I'm like, bro, if anything happens to me in this game, if I slip on this turf and I mess myself up, what am I gonna do? I don't want to go back and live with my parents. I don't have to go back and have a 9 to 5, but I was in a position like that because I allowed myself to get in that position. Set yourself up with multiple sources of income or start working your way towards it. You know, I didn't really develop that mindset until I became a personal trainer and being a trainer and seeing different people day in and day out, starting to network. Then I realized, let me see if I can merge this with basketball. And it started to click for me. Like, oh, okay, let me, let's see how this works. And just things of that nature. And another thing that may be kind of off to most players is don't get so engulfed in basketball where you don't give yourself a mental break. It's okay to
Yeah.
step away from basketball for a second, just to allow yourself to kind of recoup. Have some fun. Don't watch basketball all day long. Spend some time with your family. You get what I'm saying? Or do something that helps you relax or chill. If you like art, do art. If you like to listen to music, but don't essentially be in basketball 24/7. It's you're essentially just you're gonna burn yourself out. You're gonna wear yourself out mentally. You don't want that. You don't want to be drained. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of players might think that's weird. Like, nah, like I'm no, like it's okay to disconnect for a little bit, come back because now you're fresh. Now you can be able to actually get better. It's like you miss it.
Yeah.
You can't go a day with take that day of rest. I hate rest days, but now I've learned to love them because when I come back after that rest day, oh, I'm back. I'm like, oh, I'm back in the gym. Let's get it. And now my week is off to a good note. You get what I'm saying? And I can restart the process. And before you know it, bro, after doing that for 50 some weeks, after a year, has passed, you realize, man, I got really good this time last year. Let me see where I'm at next year and just let it grow from there. You get what I'm saying? Just start thinking differently. It's really the message that I want to push across to any athletes that are listening to this. Push differently, help the next person besides you, get better every day. Don't be afraid to disconnect from the game. And most of all, man, it's basketball. Have fun. Have fun. Enjoy the game. If you're playing 5 minutes a game, 15 minutes a game, 40 minutes a game, enjoy it. If you're having a losing season, y'all having these long lectures after drooling practices, but still happen to be losing games. You're just going through a season where like you're having to develop and build team chemistry. Enjoy that process. You have to learn how to lose before you can learn how to win.
You said it best, man. Wise words, man. Like I said earlier, man, appreciate you, big homie. Uh, that's a wrap, man, for episode 7, man. Louis Jacobo, thank you for your time.
Appreciate you, Avery. I had to be rocking the success down shorts.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I had to show support to my dog, bro. These things be clean.
My boy
I might
laced.
need some more gear too. I'm gonna need some more gear too. We're gonna talk about that later though.
It's bet. Tap in. We'll get you right, man. Hey, I already know
All
you're
right.
gonna do this, but make sure you share, man. People, leave a 5 star. You can find us streaming on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and all them good stuffs, man. That's the wrap, man. We out.